but it also sometimes falls on deaf ears. And I remember a few years back here, at NACO, I made a contact with someone through the Labor Department that was full steam ahead and trying to move us forward with a bunch of labor movement, and they were willing to assist us, connecting us with all kinds of people. But we had a department head that just would not listen and wanted to go their own separate way. And it was really a shame, but we had an advantage to really make that, because at that time we were talking to the #2 from the Federal Department of Labor. Says, yes, I know Muskegon and I want to make these things happen. And we had people that just wouldn't listen.
And that worked with policy committees too, when you belong to the national. They have conventions in the cities and bring that information from all over. So it's a learning experience, and it's an investment in those.
And I think just the networking is above everything, because you can still connect with certain people. And I know I've got relationships, you know, this lasted some years just because of those conferences, whichever they may be.
So why don't we just leave it alone if everybody's good, and we can still do 1 and 1 if you decide to, basically. Do we have a set number that can go?
And
We've never had a, okay, so that's not an issue.
No.
But if we did go to Hawaii, probably.
Well, my hand would be the first one up too.
So it might get,
No, I don't think so.
That could be an issue, that's true.
In the last 5 years, it's never been more than 2.
I think they
Really
refrain
wasn't
from that
rational.
too much because of the expense, and because it's easier for Hawaii to come here as, you know.
What is the rotation,
than-
Charles, they do? Do you know by cities? Where do
No,
do
they
it?
just typically
They
go
float?
from state to state, whichever state.
It's
And
national.
like I say, it's a national,
National.
so,
Then you can almost drive to national.
and it wouldn't make, I mean, it would make a lot of sense
Good.
for Hawaii, but it wouldn't make a lot of sense, because that would make travel expensive for everybody around the country, so.
why don't we put in
I
a
think that's
sentence
why they
that
go
the
back.
chair could make ad hoc decisions?
And that's,
Well, the way it's
that's
right
not
now,
anyway.
basically what it's doing.
You have to go through
It's already
the chair
that
for NACO
way.
anyway.
If I say we just leave it alone and we're fine.
Yeah.
Right. All right, we talked about page 44 and 45. That's gonna be, where's that gonna be?
A separate policy.
What?
Separate policy.
And you're gonna,
We'll bring that
we'll
back,
bring that back?
along
Okay.
with Rule 20.
Corporate council, same thing.
Yes.
Page 47, I had, it looked to me like there was a duplication with the first paragraph. And was this in place during the last county election? Because there were a lot of violations on that. And
I
then
think these
the
rules were intact then, Mark.
The ones in black, for sure.
Yeah.
What red was added.
all right, well, where it says such activities include, isn't that the exact same thing as the first paragraph? How is it different? I kept reading it over, couldn't figure out the difference. Or are you just trying to identify the activities that do not violate the Hatch Act?
This is
I think it's just re-emphasizing it.
Looks like a duplication, right?
yeah, it could be.
You know, name, picture, fundraising, financial support. It's all in paragraph 1.
This is still dealing with the administrator though, correct?
This is political
And
activity for us.
directors.
And the directors.
So-
The first, it's the county administrator and directors, so it's basically the employees of the county, not.
Oh, not
elected
the
officials.
elected. Okay, that's where I was concerned. Okay. Yeah, so that's staff.
But I see what you're saying, it is a redundant
Yeah.
paragraph. If you say the same thing in the first paragraph as you do in the third.
Okay.
So I'll take out third paragraph.
Lisa, was there a reason for that, why we added that?
Paragraph that includes county employees.
Versus directors and administrator.
For the last paragraph, I guess.
And they're talking about staff, right, when they refer to them as directors.
Right.
Has this been a problem? Have we had a
No.
problem?
I think what Marcia was talking about.
I was thinking of.
The elected
refer to
officials.
County commissioners. So it's just the directors, it's not the other employees.
No, it's all employees of the county, the only ones that exempted from this are county commissioners or elected officials. So any staff says, any staff or administrator,
Oh, okay.
directors, or any county employees.
Mhm.
But that's directed at the commissioner,
That we can't,
coercing.
that we can't coerce a staff member to endorse it, basically.
Right.
That's what this whole.
So are you saying on the third paragraph that that's different from the first one?
No, it looks the same to me. This
You're
is
saying that's
something-
referring to the employee?
Well, that's saying you can't use the employee's name, right? Such activities include the use of employee's name.
That's what the first paragraph says.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and look at my notes, because the second paragraph talks about the prohibition not abridging the employee's right to express an opinion concerning said individuals or to actively support other political candidates or parties, if permitted by law, including that such activities do not violate the Hatch Act.
Oh, I
And then it talks about such activities include use of employee's name or picture implying support or opposition, fundraising, financial support, or activities which may be construed by the general public as support or opposition for any person seeking or holding the position of county commissioner. Which, if done on the employee's own time, is not a violation of
Right.
law, but is an exercise of the First Amendment.
So it's duplicated in paragraph 1, but that's directed toward the administrator and directors.
Correct.
Paragraph 3 is directed at employees.
Yeah, and I think tied to the previous paragraph.
Right, that's what I wondered about. Okay, so I'll keep it in.
I guess because you use the word the employee instead of an employee.
Well, we're talking about such activities, and I think those are the same activities in the prior paragraph, where they're talking about shall not abridge the employee's right to express an opinion. Does that make sense? I think it got separated out when the revisions were made, so that it should have gone up above, right after Hatch Act, talking about such activities include.
Right, that would make more sense.
Yeah.
And page 48, 49 would be the same as the other, the other policy.
That's going to show up somewhere.
And you're done.
We
Congratulations.
are. Whoa.
I had one question.
There is no question.
On the evaluation of the administrator, there are some numbers that are on there that don't really fit with what you want to say. And I think that should be looked at, because you possibly could have been rated higher, but the number didn't reflect that.
Right.
It should, I think that should be reviewed, because it didn't give you the exact answer.
That's a good
That
point, because there was a couple commissioners who wrote a 0 on there because it didn't apply. And so that, when the 0's there, that's left out of the formula by average. But it's a good point. I mean, if it doesn't apply, why is it in there?
Right, well, it was a number that I didn't agree with, but there wasn't another number that I can make it fit. So I think we need to look at that, somebody needs to look at that, some of those need to be tweaked.
Any other questions, anybody? Now's time to air it.
When do we vote on these? And what's the schedule for this? we'll have another review, you said?
Well, next time you see this, will be at a Ways and Means motion.
Okay.
In
the
final
next Ways and Means?
version.
That's for the next one.
Will that be Thursday?
No.
No, don't panic.
And that'll be with all the Xed out.
I mean, we should have it going forward for January's, but I know the
That
next
makes
Ways
sense.
and Means is,
Close.
the last Ways and Means, we was looking at that, they said it's possible we could add it to that. Last Ways and Means of the month, I think it's the
Probably have to do
17th.
by then.
And then it'll be at the full board in January, the first full
The
board.
full board would be.
19th, the last one.
17th and 19th.
Yeah.
Of the
Right before the
summer.
holiday.
Yeah. So we're gonna vote on these this year, then they'll go into place for 20.
Starting
They're
January
in
1st.
place, well, not the new stuff, but they're in place.
You won't
And
have
we're
a
gonna
meeting
see
after you
them
vote
in
on them
final
until,
form, not with
until
all
your
the things
organization
crossed out and
meets January, is that
stuff.
right?
Right.
Yep,
Yeah. They'll be up
that'll be the first one.
Well, thank you very much.
there. Get downstairs. She is actually.